Today, Famecast Daily takes a moment to honor the life and extraordinary musical legacy of Brett James, the Grammy-winning songwriter who tragically passed away in a plane crash in North Carolina yesterday. Brett was 57 years old, and his sudden loss has sent shockwaves through the music industry, touching everyone from Nashville songwriters to global superstars like Taylor Swift and Carrie Underwood, who brought his words to life. Before we continue, our hearts go out to Brett's family, friends, and everyone who was touched by his incredible talent. Today isn't about sensationalizing tragedy, it's about celebrating a man whose words became the soundtrack to millions of people's lives, and whose contributions to music will live on forever. Brett James was one of those rare songwriters whose work transcended genre boundaries. While he's perhaps best known for writing Carrie Underwood's massive hit Jesus Take the Wheel, which earned him a Grammy Award, his influence reached far beyond country music into the pop world that Taylor Swift would eventually dominate. What made Brett James special wasn't just his ability to write hit songs, though he certainly had that gift in abundance. It was his talent for capturing universal human emotions in ways that felt both deeply personal and broadly relatable. When you heard a Brett James song, whether you knew his name or not, you felt something real. His collaboration with Taylor Swift came during a pivotal time in both of their careers. While the specific details of their work together represent just a small part of his extensive catalog, it demonstrates how his songwriting attracted artists who understood the power of authentic storytelling through music. Brett James was inducted into the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame, a recognition that speaks to his lasting impact on the music industry. This honor is reserved for writers who don't just create hits, but who fundamentally shape the sound and direction of popular music. His influence can be heard in the work of countless artists who followed in his footsteps. Throughout his career, Brett worked with an impressive roster of artists across multiple genres. From country superstars to pop icons, performers sought him out because they knew he could help them express their deepest truths through song. His ability to adapt his writing style while maintaining his authentic voice made him one of the most sought-after songwriters in the industry. The tragedy occurred when Brett's small aircraft crashed near an elementary school close to Macon County Airport in Franklin, North Carolina. 2 other passengers also lost their lives in this accident, and our thoughts are with all the families affected by this devastating loss. Brett was known not just for his professional achievements, but for his character as a person. Colleagues consistently described him as generous with his time and talent, always willing to mentor younger songwriters and collaborate with others to create something beautiful. His song Jesus Take the Wheel became more than just a hit, it became an anthem of faith and surrender that resonated with people facing their own life challenges. The song's success demonstrated Brett's ability to tap into universal themes that transcended religious or cultural boundaries, speaking to anyone who had ever felt the need to let go and trust in something greater than themselves. This kind of songwriting, where personal faith meets universal human experience, represented the very best of what Brett James brought to music. He understood that the most powerful songs don't just entertain, they provide comfort, inspiration, and connection during life's most meaningful moments. For artists like Taylor Swift, working with established songwriters like Brett James represented an important part of their artistic development. These collaborations helped shape the sound and approach that would eventually make them global superstars. Brett's influence on the next generation of performers and writers will continue to ripple through the music industry for years to come. The Nashville songwriting community has lost one of its most respected members. Brett James represented the best traditions of Music City, the idea that great songs come from authentic experiences, genuine emotion, and the desire to connect with people through shared humanity. What's particularly heartbreaking about losing someone like Brett James is that his work was far from finished. At 57, he was at the height of his creative powers, still writing, still collaborating, still finding new ways to touch people's hearts through music. The songs we'll never hear, the collaborations that will never happen, represent a profound loss for music lovers everywhere. But while we mourn what's been lost, we can also celebrate what remains. Brett James leaves behind a catalog of songs that will continue to inspire, comfort, and move people for generations to come. His words will live on in the voices of the artists who recorded them, and in the hearts of the fans who found meaning in those lyrics. The music industry can be a tough business, but people like Brett James remind us why it matters. Behind every great song is a writer who found a way to express something true, something beautiful, something that helps us understand ourselves and our world a little better. Brett James did that throughout his career, and his legacy in that regard is secure. As we process this tragic loss, let's remember Brett James not for how his life ended, but for how he lived it, creating beauty, touching hearts, and using his talents to make the world a more meaningful place through the power of song. To Brett's family, friends, and everyone in the music community who knew and worked with him, please know that his contributions to music and his impact on people's lives will not be forgotten. His songs will continue to be sung, his influence will continue to be felt, and his memory will be honored by everyone whose life was touched by his extraordinary talent. Rest in peace, Brett James.
Thank you for the music, thank you for the words, and thank you for showing us all what it means to use your gifts in service of something greater than yourself. From all of us at Famecast Daily, our deepest condolences to everyone affected by this tragedy. We'll continue to celebrate Brett's musical legacy and the joy his songs brought to millions of people around the world.